Hi guys, my name is Meads. This is going to be a review for Frame Arms Girl. We have Materia, and this is the normal version. And actually, Kotobukiya released this, and they're kind of like your blanks. Which kind of makes sense since a lot of people would like to use this for kit bashing. Whether you have Kotobukiya kits or Bandai kits, they're great. And that kind of reminds me of Super Fumina from Build Fighters. Yeah, really cool. Now here's the box art. I always like the box art for kotobukiya. They're always nicely illustrated. Onto the side here. Not sure if they have the code here for how much. Oh, there it is. 3,600 yen. Yeah, for a blank, it is a bit expensive. But I think people will still get it regardless. There we go. So that's pretty much it for the box art. Let's take a look inside. Alright, we have the illustration booklet here. It's the same illustration as the box art, which is nice. I like it. And inside you have more poses. They have some photo shots of what she can do. Quite great. There's also a color guide here if you do decide to paint her. And that's great, although I'm not too sure how to decipher that, but you have different percentage here in terms of color combination. There's one thing that is not painted out of the box, which I'll go in a bit, which is this like light blue on the leggings here, and that is not painted, something we have to add on. There is also a decal sheet, and just in case you want to paint over the plastic, but they did pre-attach the decals already. So you don't have to worry about this unless you're going to be painting or something happened. There we go. And they already have the line of grind salad, which I've already reviewed. And this is a mold kit. There's still people who comment on my videos thinking the kits that I review are figures. So there is some assembly required on this, which is not too bad. It's a simple kit. And the main attraction for this kit is you can customize them. You can buy your model supply goods, or the MSG. Kotobukiya has a bunch of them, quite a lot, and you can pretty much whatever weapon you need, they have it. Well, for the most part. And you can also mix and match it with other Frame Arms Girl. If you want to put Stylet's armor on her, you can do so. And well, the rest of it is just instructions on how to build her, but that's pretty much it for the booklet. Alright, so we have Stylet here in Materia, and before we go any further, here's the decal sheet, which has the different eyes, but again, it's already pre-applied for you, so you don't have to worry about that, unless, of course, again, if you're gonna paint the plastic, I mean, you can give her a different skin tone. Yeah, really nice. Unfortunately, for this particular kit, it does not come with a stand. I think Stylet so far is the one with a stand. Gride does not have it. And I kind of wish they've add more of that stand or base, which will be great. But yeah, here we go. But there's a lot of stands out there, and one of which is this character stand. I did a review on this one. Unfortunately, mine here, this part here broke off. The little tabs there that holds it in place. It still works, just that I have to be mindful when I need to readjust this. And you just pop this down to reposition that. Yeah, a nice stand. I forgot which company made it, but yeah, this will work for this one for now. Alright, we got Materia here. She looks great. And this is out of the box. No paints or anything added to her. And again, all the faces are pre-decaled for you, which is great. Now, there are certain things that are missing. Specifically that lightish blue or greenish blue color here on the leggings. I will be adding that in. I'll do a quick demo. And yeah, I wish they've added more decals. But other than the eyes, that's pretty much it. Anyways, I'll gather my materials and tools and continue with the demo. Alright, so here's my little setup. I'll be using grass paint. Typically, I'll be using folk art. I'll probably use this particular paint here, metallic blue topaz. I do have the blue pearl. I might mix it, just getting that light color. Yeah, I don't have that specific color, but I can always mix paint. I also have some tools here. I basically need something to etch it. I can even use a scriber here, or I have a couple of sandpaper here as well to just prepare that surface. Now, this is one way of doing it. This is my style. I like using grass paint. It's non-toxic. I can paint in my own room, especially where I live at. It's foggy, it's cold, and it's humid. Not a good place for painting. And I don't have enough space in my garage since there's cars there, and yeah, to have an actual working spray boot. Yeah, so hence why I'm using grass paint. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and prepare this. So what I want to do is just get this surface roughened. So more than likely we're gonna just pop this out. That way we can focus on this. I'm gonna do a little different approach here. Let me see if this works. I have a scriber here, and it seems to work. Basically, the main goal for me is to just get it roughened up. I don't want to use the sandpaper because that will roughen the whole surface up. I just want that specific area. So I'll do this for the rest of them and get back to the demo. Alright, so after a bit of scribing, and I'm not really scribing, because scribing you just gotta go through a line several times till you get that panel line, which this one already has. But I just made it so that it's a little rough. You got the paint, or something for the paint to stick on. So that seems to be ready. Well, actually, another way you can do this is just sand the whole thing out, paint it, then apply a top coat, and that will even out the surface and make it smooth again. But I just want to show a different approach. Alright, so that's done. Let's go add some paint. So I got a little metallic dish here, or no, metal dish. Got some paint here. I got the silver. Well, this is platinum, a little lighter. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put a drop here, and I'm just gonna wing it. And I'm almost out of this particular paint. All right, there we go. Got a drop there, and topaz. Make sure you mix or shake your bottle, because sometimes we have that, oh, that's what I'm talking about. There's that excess, kind of like oil. There's a term for it, I kind of forgot. It's like a liquid that suspends the paint. Mix it around. You might have to add a little bit more silver, or platinum actually, and just get that consistency you're looking for. I kind of like that color. And another thing is, preferably you want to paint in one go, since whatever paint that you've made here, if I try this again with one drop of each, it may not have the same consistency of that color. So that's good enough. Swirl might be a nice touch also. Paper towel, wipe that off. Now we grab the piece here again. Got some paint on my finger. Oh, it's water-based. Alright, so grab your toothpick and start painting. For this one, it's okay to be sloppy. That's a great thing about acrylic or cast paint. You can clean it off, and I will show that in a bit. So I'm just trying to fill as much as I can. And sometimes might have to put another coat. So after this dries, put another one on top of it. And the first coat, you want it as thin as possible. And you want to build up on that. Because if you apply it too thick, it will start to lump up. Alright, let's see here. A few more. You can use a paintbrush too. Just I like to use toothpick. It's cheap. And kind of gives you more control. Alright, there we go. Very sloppy. I'll let this dry. I'll work on the next one and move on to the part where I was talking about we can clean it up. Alright, so actually this is several layers already. After I've let it dry, I clean it out, then put another layer. So to clean it out, I get a toothpick here and just gently rub away at the edges. Very simple. It works quite well. One of the problems with this method is if you get too close and you actually start scratching towards the panel or the panel line ridge, you end up scratching the inside part as well. But this is a quickest way for cleanup, and I don't think you can do this with other types of paint other than this. And works quite well for me. Might still need some cleanup here and there, but it's good enough. So here we go. I might put a little bit of top coat on it just to protect the paint and kind of even it out, but not too bad. I did the same thing with the other side as well. There we go. And on top of that, they actually have to paint the back side of this chest. So this whole area here is gray. I had to paint that black. On the side here, black as well. I may have to add a little bit more black on the top there. I just use a Gundam marker or Micron or Sakura Micron what do you call it? Marker, yeah. Those really thin ones. And painted the blue there. This one's already painted on front, but the back side it's not. And I think that's about it. Alright, another thing I want to show is using the Sakura Micron 005 here. It's kind of forgot it's 0.25mm line width, so it's really thin. Great for panel lining, especially those little corners. And if you are painting, there's gonna be sections on the edge that just sticks out. If you try to clean up with a toothpick, you'll end up gouging the inside, which I mentioned before. And what I'm gonna do is just line it. And I've seen this a lot where people kind of just forgot to clean up. I mean, their work is great, but if you don't clean up the edges here, it's gonna look horrible. So I'm just lining up the edge as much as I can. Doesn't have to be perfect, but there we go. I think I made a mistake on that part there. But just rub off with your finger, clean it off, and it's a little better. But yeah, just line up the edges. That way it looks a little bit cleaner. There we go. Alright, so after that's all done, it looks like you got it. It's like the box now. It's not the best, but it will work for what I want it to be. Just there's little simple highlights. Alright, moving on. I add a bit of fan lines here. I used got the marker, which is the pour type. Kind of inks away to the pan lines. It's great. Let's go over articulation. We have the neck here. Yeah, for the most part, it does its job. Now, these eyes are looking to her left. Now, there is other faces here. This one looks straightforward. Sorry, I'm kind of lost here. Straightforward and with the mouth open, or she's happy, or she's excited. And you have another open face looking to her right. Yeah. So let's do the neutral one where she's just looking forward. To replace the face, you're gonna pop out this front. You can just pop off the whole neck. That way it's out of the way. Kind of pull from the chin, because there's tabs down there, as well as the top here. And you put this on here, just align it. Sometimes it doesn't go all the way in, but it's good enough. Put this on, there we go. Put this back, and you get the other face. Now the shoulder, you got this joint here. It's ball jointed with a hinge right here. You have a swivel, I believe, here. This part here. There's this shoulder plate here which you can actually swap out. You can swap it out with one with the peg connection. Right there. If you want to attach certain weapons, again, kotobukiya's MSG weapon sets has a variety of weapons. I'll put this back on. Just want to show that. Elbow articulation, a little over, it's about 120 degrees. It's quite a bit, or 125. You get the wrist joint here, which you can move around. And you get a variety of hands, which we'll go over. Moving on, and I already popped it off. The waist. This is probably the weakest point of this kit. That does tend to pop out. And from what I remember, it's the inherent problem with all frame arms girls. So, let's see if I can push that back in. The peg is just not long enough. And I don't know if there is a way to extend that. Well, maybe there is, but this just makes her lean forward though. Yeah, it's not the best connection there. Alright, so I actually figured something out that actually worked. So with that problem with that peg, let me pop this out. What I did is, this is actually a Pulley Cap. If I can take this out here. There we go. So this is a Pulley Cap, and I basically put a collar there. It's just a paper clip wrap around the base of that peg, and just raise the Pulley Cap just a little bit, and that's enough to actually hold it in place on the other side. So that said, let's push this back here, make sure everything is aligned. There we go. And with that said, we can actually lift this down now without popping it off the socket, and that works quite well. So just put a little something to lift that Pulley Cap up, and it makes a more secure waist connection, which is great. You're not gonna get much out of that, but you do have this kind of like a front skirt, kind of covers the navel. There's two flaps there. I'm not sure. Well, you got this back side here, and that's about it. Alright, so moving on, we have the waist here. It's a really unique waist joint that they had. There we go. I'll probably show it in the illustration booklet, but for the most part, it's a really good waist joint. In terms of movement, it's not gonna extend much. This joint here in the middle actually does not go down like the figure arts or the other joint that we're used to. But it holds well for standing motion and slight, you know, angle like that, 90 degrees. That's pretty much it. And it works quite well. In terms of the butt area, it's not too bad. And you do have the panties there. Let me just show that in the booklet here. Let's see. See if I can find it here. I had it here somewhere. Should have looked at it first. There we go. So this one is quite unique. So this is the bottom, and you have the right and left here. It goes in, and it makes that joint right there for the waist. And I was thinking maybe you can slide this down, but it does not let me. Maybe it can, but that's how they'll have the waist joint there. It's something unique. I haven't seen that before. Other than that, I think that's pretty much it for that waist joint. Moving down, we have the tie swivel here, which you can rotate it. I think I've shown that already. You can pop this out. This one also, you can slide this out. You can replace this panel here with one of those connecting parts. But there is a certain way to connect this. So this one is only for her left side. It does not go connect on the right side. You have to use the other one. And there we go. Another peg connection there, 3mm, kind of like your standard one. And we have the knee bend here. Fairly good. I like that. It's smooth. I mean, there's a little gap there, but it's all black. You don't really see it as much. And you have the ankle joint here. There's no pulley caps, all plastic connection. It is kind of loose since this is a two halves on the joint here. So you might have to actually glue this in place. Make sure you put that tension there. That way it'll be tight. And there is a toe articulation as well. And I could pop off as well. It's just a C-clip there. So be careful. There we go. And I think that's pretty much it for articulation. Now let's go over the variety of hands. Alright, so first off we have the closed fist, which kind of like standard for everything. Alright, next one is the relaxed hand, which can be used for waving and among other things. Next one is the open hands, which could be, again, used for a lot of poses. Alright, the next one is for holding different accessories, including swords. So if you have one of this, I forgot what this is. It's not sure if it's a demon sword. It's one of the sword packs, but it's quite nice. It's huge. And next one is this particular hand, which has a trigger finger pointed forward. You can probably use this one or the one that I just used for the sword to hold the pistol. And again, this pistol does not include in this kit. It's a different weapon set. I just can't remember which. I have so many of them. But you can, variety of things you can do with this. So again, this can be also used for pointing. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the hands. Actually, getting back to the sword, I've noticed that she can balance the sword quite well, despite being a big size. And her balance with those 2 feet are actually quite great, and I like that. And that pretty much wraps up the review for Materia. It's a really great kit, and especially we rarely get to see female mole kits out there, other than they're starting to do this with Frame Arms girls. And I think someone will probably mention the Habushi Shinki, but that's a little overpriced at the moment. But yeah, definitely great for kit bashing. Frame Arms kits or even Gunpla. So other than what I mentioned this review, things could have been better in terms of adding some paint, especially on the backside and on the legs. Adding that little collar on the waist joint to secure that. Other than that, it's a fairly good kit. didn't have much issues. And I think that's about it for this review. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll try my best to answer that for you. But that's pretty much it. Hope you guys like this review. So until then, this is Meads. Thanks for watching.